Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to roll out slabs that you can use to make your enclosed box project. So first of all, you're going to start out with your board in front of you. The other tools you'll want to have nearby are your needle tool, your wooden rib, your rolling pin. You may want to use the templates that I gave you in your art kit for using as a guide for when you cut out your shapes. Of course, you can always make your own templates. You can always use your sketchbook to draw out the shape of a template that you want to use to cut that out, but I have these two cut from mat board that are in your art kit, and then of course your bag of clay. So when you start, you'll use your wire tool, cut a slab that's about 1 inch thick, so about like this. Put that to the side, and then we're going to cut this slab in half as well. So we'll start with about, so you have 2 slabs here. Start with one of those, put the other one, again, back in your bag as always, and so you close that up right away so it does not dry out. So we have this slab that we're going to be using to roll out today. The first thing I always like to do when I start rolling out a slab and I don't have a slab roller available is I like to just use my hand, and I like to just hit that clay, flatten it out a little bit like this, and then flip it over. Your clay is a little wet and it may want to stick to the board, so flipping it over is going to prevent that from happening. Do the same thing. The template I'm going to use again is this one, and I'm going to try to fit 2 out of this slab of clay. So I'm going to try to kind of work in this direction and in this direction. So I'll kind of hit the clay up and down. Again, stop, flip that clay over, do the same thing again. You also might want to use your rolling pin. Again, I don't like to hold the handles. I prefer to just put my hand right on the top. I'm gonna roll up and down. You may get these lines happening. That's okay, we'll smooth those out later. Typically, your slab is gonna be the thickest in the middle, and then it's gonna start to get thin near the edges. So always work from the center and work your way out, making sure that that slab is nice and evenly thick. You may wanna turn your board a couple times to roll that out. Whoop, got a little bit thin there on the edge. If that happens to you, it's all right. We'll just smooth that over. Again, every now and then stop, flip your clay over. You may want to see, can I fit 2 on there? Maybe not quite yet. Maybe I'll smooth this out a little bit more this direction, a little bit more this direction. Again, make sure your edges, don't let them get super thin. You don't want your slab to be that thin. You want it to be about 1/2 inch thick. So make sure you're working from the center and pulling that clay out. You can use your wooden rib also to smooth that surface out. So I think I've almost had it here. I can probably get about 2 pretty close on here. So when you feel like your clay is a pretty even consistency, again, make sure you're always flipping it. You may want to cut it and just check, like if you have any excess piece, like I know that I won't be able to get a slab way over here, so I can use my needle tool, cut it. Mine is a little on the thin side. I wouldn't go much thinner than this, about 1/2 inch thick to 1/4 inch thick. So I'm going to cut out my template over here. If you find that it got a little bit too thin, you can always smash your clay together and start over again. So it'd be better to start over than have a slab that's much too thin. I'm going to cut around my template, get all the excess, and I'm going to really carefully take that slab off of the board. And this is very wet right now. I cannot construct anything with this because it would not be able to hold its shape. So I'm going to set that to the side, and I need 3 of those. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Again, take that slab, put it to the side so it can start to harden up a little. Then I'm going to take my scraps, I'm going to smash them together, and I'll take the other half of the brick that I have. I can smash these together. Again, my clay is very wet right now, so it's very forgiving. It's really easy to move around, really easy to shape. And I'll do the same thing again. I'm gonna do a triangle box, so I need 3 of these rectangles. I have 2. In this piece of clay, I'm gonna be making 1 more rectangle, and then I'll cut out 2 triangles for the top and the bottom. So same procedure. Again, really focus on the center of the clay. Don't start smushing out the edges. Really focus on flattening out the center. Flip your clay over. Let's flip that clay again. One more time. Again, if you want to use a rolling pin to smooth it out a little bit, that might be a good idea also. And if you have any excess going off of the board, I usually just take my needle tool, cut that little bit off. Let's flip our clay one more time. And then I'll do the same thing that I did before. Take my template, lay it on top. Again, about a 1/2 inch thick is what we want, nice and even on all sides. Put that to the side, and then let's see if I can get 2 triangles out of here. I think I can do it. Got my 1 triangle, and then I need 1 more. My second triangle. All these little scraps, I'm gonna stack up. They're all still really wet, nice and workable. I'm gonna take these, smash them together, put those back in my bag. Put those right in there. I can use those again later on. Wrap up my bag. And now I have all the pieces for my project. Again, I have 2 triangles and I have 3 rectangles. This is not ready to use for construction yet. It's much, much, much too wet. So I'm gonna lay these out on the board like this. And I am gonna let these dry a little bit. Now we're not gonna let these dry completely because obviously if we do that, we won't be able to work with them anymore. But we wanna let them harden up a little till they're more in that leather hard stage. So that might mean leaving these out for a 1/2 hour, for maybe an hour. Don't forget about them. When you feel like they're leather hard and ready to join together, that's when you'll want to work with them. And we'll do that in our next video.